Hey guys, welcome to another how-to video with Matt Waters. Today I'm going to show you how to make this rustic style farm end table, but first you're going to need a few things. Alright guys, so the first couple of things that you're going to need is you're going to need to make sure you have a miter saw. You're going to need some 2x4 lumber. You're going to need some 2x2 lumber. You need to get yourself some hammer and nails, or you can use screws. I prefer screws. You can use a pencil or pen to make your marks, and of course then you're going to need a tape measure. Then you need to get yourself a drill or impact driver that's capable of drilling the screws and drill bits. Then you need to get yourself some wood clamps. That always helps assist with any project. I suggest getting a sander that has some 180 grit paper. You need to also get yourself some farm style white paint. They sell all kinds of different ones, but pick the one that you like the best. Pick your color choice of stain. For this project we are going to be using the ebony stain. And then you need to get yourself an optional is number 10 hole shank, so you can make your screws or nails sit down deeper below the wood. And if you're going to be using nails, I suggest using a 7/64 drill bit to pre-drill your holes before you start hammering. And optional also is wood glue. Alright guys, so here is our cut sheet for the 2x4 boards that we have. We need to make sure that we have 8 at 28 1/8. You want to make sure you got 2 at 23 inches. You want to make sure you got 2 at 22 1/2. And you want to make sure that you have 2 at 19 inches. So you can pause that out there and write that down. Alright, so for your 2x2 cut sheet, you just got 2 cuts to make. You need to make sure you have 2 at 23 inches. And you need to make sure you have 2 at 19 inches. So you can pause that out there and write that down. Alright guys, so now that we've got all the wood that we're going to be using in the project cut in the pile right here, what I like to go ahead and do is sand down all of my pieces, right? I like to use my benchtop sander. You can use a hand orbital sander. Just use some grit like 180, 120 in that area just to get it kind of smoothed down. You don't want it too perfect or look like too new of furniture. You want it to have that rustic kind of look to it. So I just use 180 sandpaper. So now that we have all of our boards sanded down, what you want to do is you want to take your 8 boards that was 28 1/8, and you just want to stick those to the side for now. Right now we're going to go ahead and build the frame so we can get it painted up. Alright guys, so now it's time to put our frame together. So what you want to do is you want to take the 4 legs that you cut at 22 1/2. You want to stick them in each corner. I made a little jig behind here to hold it up straight for me, so that makes this easier for myself, right? Okay, so take your 4 22.5 legs. You want to stick them in each corner. Then for your sidebars right here on the sides, you want to imagine if you're looking at the piece standing right here. The 2 pieces on your left and the one on your right over there are going to be your 23-inch pieces, and then your pieces that's in the front and the back over here, that's going to be your 19-inch pieces, right? So pay attention to how this layout is, right? As you can see, the 23-inch pieces line up on the outsides of the legs like this, and then our 19-inch pieces line up on the insides of the legs just like this, right? So once you get all of that placed out and make sure that every piece lines up nice, then what I like to do is take a marker, right guys? I like to take a marker and go ahead and mark 2 spots for where I'm going to shoot my little holes at for my screws. Then I go around all around and put my marks. Then I can go ahead and start drilling my holes. So we're going to go ahead and get our holes drilled, and then we'll shoot some screws in each corner and get this frame put together. Go ahead and put my little pocket holes. Alright, and you just want to do that all around, and then we'll be ready to shoot some screws in it. So now we got our holes drilled all the way around, so now we can go ahead and put our screws in each side. So you just want to line up your outside piece like right here first, and then go ahead and shoot you some screws in. Make sure you keep everything nice, tight, and lined up. Alright, so we'll go around and screw up all of our holes with screws, and then we'll be done with our frame. So we got everything screwed together in place. Let me go ahead and give you some views of how I've done it. Put pocket holes right here and here to join these, and of course in both corners on all around. All right, so now that you have this part framed up, now what we need to do is take our tape measure and a pin, and we're going to come down and we're going to mark us down 7 inches, and you're going to do that on this side. Then you want to come down on this outer rim right here on this side and mark 7 inches, and you want to do that of course here, 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 and over here also. We're going to go around and mark 7 inches. Then we can take our 2x2 lumber that we got, right guys? So we can take these, and what you're going to do is you're going to wind up putting them in place just like this and line it up with your 7-inch mark on the outside wall right here. And then with your shorter ones, you can do the same thing on the inside walls right here. So let's go around and mark this at 7 inches all around. Then we can put our 2x2 lumber on. Also, after I make my marks, I like to take my speed square and give it a nice straight line to buck my wood up to. So we're going to go around and measure our 7s. 7 here. Alright, and you guys can see this line right here, right? So what we're going to do is come time to put our piece on, you want to make that line be the bottom of your board right here, just like that, guys. You see how I'm doing that? You don't want the top part right here to line up with the line, you want the bottom. So make sure you do it just like that, where your line's here, top of your board's there. Alright, and then we'll shoot those in, put our little pilot holes in the corners and stuff. Alright guys, so as you can see, we got our 7-inch marks all around, right? So what we're going to do is now take our pieces that fit in our slots, like this one goes here, and you want to make sure you line that bottom part with that bottom line, just like that. Alright, on these ones you can't go straight in, you're going to have to drill in from the corners right here, right? So what I like to do is just take my pen or pencil, come back about 2 fingers, put me a mark right there. That's going to indicate right there where I need to put a pocket hole to go in here, and I come and do the same thing over here. Alright, so we'll go ahead and drill those holes out. Then you want to come around to this side also with your longer pieces. We'll make sure you line that bottom up line right here, and with this side, alright, and you might have to clamp it together, but you can go ahead and make your marks. So you know that the end's right here, so you just go 2 fingers back, put your little center mark, come down to this end right here, do the same thing. So we'll go ahead and drill our pocket holes in our spots at a 45, and then we'll go ahead and screw these in place. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our pocket holes drilled in all our pieces, and then we're going to go ahead and screw everything together. Guys, so at this point in the video, this is the frame that you should have built now when you put all your 2x4 lumber together the way we showed you, and then you add your 2x2 lumber skirts at the top right here. Let's take a look around it. As you guys can see, everything's nice, symmetrical. Alright, so now is the option where you want to decide, do you want to paint this thing white like I'm going to, or do you want to stain this one color or stain everything one color? That option's up to you, but what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and paint this white, and then we're going to get to our tabletop. Alright guys, so due to the unstable weather outside, I didn't want to take any chances of this piece getting ruined, so I decided to bring this base inside in my kitchen area, and I painted it right here in the kitchen. This is the first coat, so I'm going to let that dry for about an hour. Then I'm going to go over it with one more quick coat just to touch up any bad spots that might still be showing through on the wood. Guys, so now it is time to build the top. Since we've got everything assembled and painted, that's going to be white, and then this right here we're going to be staining ebony after we finish. But to get started, what I like to do is just take my biggest clamp that I have that's nice and snug, this one, and I like to just go ahead and take 3 of the boards out of the 8. Go ahead and get them ends lined up real nice and sharp. You want to make sure everything's nice and level, parallel. Then you want to do is come and clamp them together just like this. Alright, and then it won't hurt to put another clamp on the other side, right? So then what I want to do is I want to space out my pilot holes, right? So what I want to do is I want to start right here. I want to come about 2 fingers back right here, make a little mark, put right there. So that'll be one hole that goes here. And I'll come down a little bit, another one right here, about 2 fingers width, make another mark right there, and then space them out. Alright, so then that's what I'm doing. I'm going 1, 2, 3, and 4. So then we can go ahead and drill out these pocket holes right here. So by simply changing out to a pocket hole bit. You just want to go down, straight down, and then you want to cock it at a 45 like that and go ahead and go into the grain. Alright, so now that we've got this all screwed together, you can see here is our board plank right here. So that leaves us with some more boards. So we got to go ahead and take 3 more boards, do this exact same thing again, line them up, clamp them, make your marks, put your pilot holes in there, and then shoot your screws. Then we'll take those 3 boards, join them together, and then that'll leave us with 2 more boards, and then we'll just join those together to that, and that'll be the tabletop. So let's go ahead and jump on that now. We have gotten our 4s right here taken and putting together, and we got our group of 4 right there put together. So now guys, we need to join both of these together. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you get your nice prettiest sides. You gotta remember the top is actually what's on the bottom right here, right? So you want to make sure all your ugly pieces are facing up before you screw them down and everything. So I already can tell that this right here is the way that I'm going to like it. So what you want to do is go ahead and line this one up together. Make sure it's nice and snug with each other. Then you want to go around and place your marks on it just like so. Because you know you want to join these 2 together. You're going to go ahead and get you one dead center right here. Put you one on each end. And then you want to go in the center of these 2 marks right here. So you're going to put you one about here. And put you one about right here. So we'll go ahead and drill these pilot holes out, shoot some screws, and join this together, and then our tabletop part will be complete. Then we can go ahead and stain it. Okay, so we got all 8 pieces now screwed together. So this is what you should have right here, guys. Is a big frame right here. As you can see, comes all the way up to there, comes down to here. So now what we need to do, go ahead and get our gloves and our stain and our rags out, and then we're going to go ahead and stain this top and let that dry while our frame is drying its white paint. Alright guys, so I'm using this mini wax wood finish. This is the Ebony 2718 color right here, guys. I love this color. It works great with farmhouse style projects. And what I did is put a vinyl glove on to keep that stain off of my hands, and I just got a regular old rag, and then I'm just going to dip it in here just like this. Soak up some of that stain right here. Alright, let's give it a good squeeze out so it don't run all over the place. And then we're just going to start staining this whole entire piece. Start wiping it down. Very easy to stain with this stuff, guys. You just got to rub it in real good. Make sure it's nice and even coat. Just like that. And then I'm going to dip a little bit more. And we're going to keep going until we finish staining our top. Alright guys, so here is the top right here. It's been finished stained. We've been letting it sit for about an hour. I say to let it sit for about an hour and a half before you try to mess with it. Let that oil soak in there real good. Let it get nice and dry, right? Then what you're going to want to do after you let this dry on this side is you want to flip it over and re-stain the back side, right? So we'll do that as soon as this can dry. Alright guys, we are back. Everything has dried finally. What we've done is we went ahead and took our top right here and flipped it so that our good side that we want facing up is upside down now. And then we went ahead and took our frame, placed it on there, and what you're going to need to do, guys, is the way we built this is that each end should have 1 inch space here and 1 inch space here, right? So I'll go all around and get it centered at 1 inch spaces. I'm going to show you how I do that real fast. Guys, so what I do real easy is take a speed square, right, and you can see it's got measurements on there. So we got our one that's right here at 1 inch. So what I want to do is stick it on one corner right here, buck it up to 1 inch, so I know that this part of this corner is at 1 inch. So then you just want to turn it around, do it the same way, lay it up this way, and you know that this corner is at 1 inch. So you can go ahead and make a mark right here with a pen or a pencil. Alright, so then you want to go ahead and do that to all 4 corners, and then when you do all 4 corners like that, you want to go ahead and trace the outside diameter of the board, just like that. And then you want to come inside and trace the inside also, right? So what you're doing is you're making a pattern so that you can drill some pilot holes with and then you can shoot your screws through the top right here, guys. So go ahead, get each corner at 1 inch on each side like this. Everything's already done on this one. And then take your pen and pencil, just mark it, trace it, and then make sure you get the inside too, just like this. You want to make sure you trace this whole entire frame out onto the board, and then we'll be right back. Alright guys, so now that we've got our marks all the way around, you can see the perimeter right here. What I'm going to do is take my drill bit right here, just a small pilot bit, and you just want to throw 2 in each corner going this way, right? So you want to make sure that they line up with this side. You don't want to worry about going this way, and you don't want to go crazy and put them all down through the board. You just want to make sure that each corner is flat like this against it in your board, and you want to make sure you go ahead and put 2 pilot holes right there. And make sure it goes all the way through to the other side so that you can see. And make sure that you stay inside your perimeter. So go ahead and do that for all 4 corners, and then we'll be back. Alright, so now what I want to do is take my frame and put it lined back up onto the square. Make sure you get it lined up all the way around. All your lines are nice and straight and lined up, right? So now we got our 2 pilot holes. What we're going to do is, I notice I hung this over a lip edge right here. That way I can screw it up from the bottom instead of trying to guess where it's at from the top. So what I want to do is take my Phillips head screw. I found my pilot hole right here on the bottom. I'll make sure I hold it nice and tight in place, and then go ahead and screw it up. So now that you've gone through and screwed in all your holes right there that you've made, then you need to go ahead and flip it over and check it out. Make sure everything's level and smooth. Alright guys, so we turn it over and this is what we have. We have this awesome end table. So the last things you need to probably do is to just touch up any areas that you might have scratched up maybe or chipped, and then you want to go over your holes. See, we got holes in the top and the corners, and then you got some on your sides. Just go over that with some wood putty, fill it in, let it dry and sand it down, and then you can just do some touch up with your paint and your stain. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Y'all have a wonderful week. Peace.